Hmm. Taking away the Spirit Breaker, though, on Army Geniuses, I wonder if that's. I mean, obviously, you could say it's specifically a hustler sort of thing, but it might also mean that they're looking to go for something a little bit more passive. The Drow Ranger, the Arc Warden, the Tinker, the Zeus, something a little bit out of the box, perhaps.
Yeah, some ways that are heavily countered by heroes getting on top of you. You know, we saw last game they had a little bit more of a slower pace lineup. They weren't unfortunately able to get to that stage there for Army Geniuses. They'll even kind of respect ban. What just happened there?
Well, Venge isn't here.
Ah, so you go on the tide. That's you might have to switch the other side there. He's a big man. It's a bit
That Water Malone.
high equality as well.
Team pick.
Earth Spirit.
Okay, so we get a treat. Lim Earth Spirit, maybe we may die. More than likely not though. There's a lot of aggression that can come through from Army Geniuses. Gives you a way to be able to make rotations onto the
10
lanes,
seconds
especially
remaining.
Silencer here. That's kind of immobile. So if it is going to be a Makoto
5
Silencer,
seconds remaining.
does give you a great way to have a potential to bring him down early. You might need a position too that can kind of help enable some rotations though.
I feel like this Earth Spirit pick just on its own makes you not want to play Silencer mid anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is very easy to go onto you. The setup is great. And again, Silencer Monkey King is a great lane. So why do away with something that's going to be so effective super early on? Like you roll in once, if you miss it, or hell, even if you landed onto one of these heroes, you can just turn around very easily. You get the slow coming through from the Arcane Curse. Oftentimes, you're going to look to try and follow up that roll with a kick. It'll extend the duration of the Arcane Curse, and then Monkey King, as long as he's got just an Orb of Venom, very capable of turning around onto you. And Neon, they pick the Rubik this time around. The last time we saw the Rubik was it Yangon was playing it with Skille, right? And it didn't feel like it fit at all into the draft. Like, he's a very good Rubik player, but it didn't feel like, okay, this is an amazing Rubik game. There's a ton of great spells to steal. This time around, you got the Fiend's Grip, you got the Nightmare, you got the Call Down, you got the Ravage, tons of great things to steal. Plus, it also gives you that guaranteed setup for the Spear, so it even gives you a little bit more strength in the laning stage.
Well, back into the gyro. You reckon
10 seconds.
this time they're going to flex it again? Or is
Dire
it...
team ban.
This is a pos 1 gyro. I mean, it's another one of those.
Radiant team ban.
We'll probably see it be that more aggressive style, right? In the laning stage. There are some games where you can look to go flat cannon stats, but this time around it'll be a couple of points into the homing missile, 1, maybe 2 points into the rocket barrage, just because you can set up for the
10
homing missile with the use of the
remaining.
Nightmare, probably onto the Rubik, and Gyrocopter's fast enough that he
5
should be able to
seconds
sidestep any
remaining.
kind of spears coming through, so that the full damage does come in onto Hustler's Rubik.
We lost your cam as well. Just heads up.
Oh no, what a shame.
They were trying to shut down the Water Malone. They
Maybe you didn't like the fact that I changed it. What can we look to go for? I've called back, by the way.
okay. Oh yeah.
Let's have a
Dire
look.
team ban. Radiant
Okay, so
team
Neon,
pick.
they banned out. Yeah, so they're trying to ban out some Makoto heroes at the moment. Looks like they're reading that it's going to be the Monkey Silencer lane for the safe on Neon. They need ways to make plays and probably some magic damage. They don't know their position
10
to match up,
seconds
which
remaining.
makes it a little bit more difficult here for Makoto. Lean is available
5
whenever in
seconds
doubt and you
remaining.
don't see a position 2. You can always go leaner, but the magic damage...
Dire team pick.
Razor.
Razor.
I actually really like that. It's something that's a lot more survivable. Gyrocopter, very short range. That was a
Choose your
quick
hero.
Pugna pick as well in response to it. I guess they're kind of.
Oh yes, the DV Tidehunter. Hey, I called it. This called it. I said it was coming. You weren't ready for it. I wonder now, what can they do? What's a gyro mid? I feel like you it's a little bit difficult because they have 2 melee in their other cores, but you might still look to put. Huh. I think you
Neon.
want. Say that again.
Neon.
You're in Neon? Okay. Well, firstly, I'm pretty sure Neon try and put the Razor versus the Tide. Like, this is always a very, very strong matchup in the lane because of how slow Tide is. You can just chase him down, harass him out with ease, and once you get Eye of the Storm, you have a lot of kill threat opportunity. But it is a Makoto mid-Razor, so it's going to throw them into a bit of a whirlwind here if they put the Xiaoyu Mars middle or if they put the 458 Monkey King middle. So I'm intrigued to see if they do that, but before the lanes even get set up, you're not too much of a fan of the what aren't you liking here? Is it the DB Tide? What is it?
It's the DB Tide mostly. Also, I feel like you want to keep the Razor mid against the Gyrocopter. Again, he doesn't have the greatest attack range, so a lot of times you are going to get off that static link. And I feel like if you moved him around, like a Monkey King or a Mars doesn't really like to face into him either. So, yep, this is exactly what I was expecting. Xiao Yu and Hustler, they're going to be the ones that contest this. Just swap the side lanes and everything's totally fine. Monkey King Silencer into a Tide Hunter feels very good. That means that you're going to be able to fix that. They got to make sure that they're not revealing the lanes too early, though. And then the other thing is, even for the Mars Rubik lane, is that you're coming up against a Pugner. Very low HP pool. He might be fast, but he's low HP pool. So if you're able to get off the lift into the Spear, God's Rebuke, Fade Bolt, he'll be dying most times.
30 seconds.
Have you seen
left.
TV's picture?
Why not? Just have him there.
Ah, yes, you are. He's Jesus Christ.
Speaking of pictures, by the way, my lockdown, my quarantine body is very
The
similar to
battle
Hustler's
begins.
profile picture right now.
Let me see Hustler. That's a top tier picture. You can get some good ones with Pepe. That has to be one of the best creations of memes that you can find. Good old Pepe.
Oh yeah. He's a
Alright.
top tier one for sure.
Alright, so how the lane's looking at the moment. They're going to have the Monkey up top.
That guy's top, and Wami's mid, and Tide Hunter's off lane.
Huh.
Right,
They
changed
big
the-
brained this.
Yeah.
They've
We'll
really...
see. Give it 10 minutes. Then we'll see if they've big brained or not.
So, what do we feel like is going on right now? Because it has to be said that Army Geniuses are really coming out with some bizarre drafts. Like, are they... It's a new patch. Like, if there's a time to grind, you know, it feels like definitely could be now. They have... I say that, man. They've grinded so many games, so many tournaments. They're always playing. They did kind of build the identity on kind of like cheese. Your main guy was always going for a lot of these cheese heroes, and they were playing off that, even DB as well. So, like, what do you feel like is the thought process right now on Army Geniuses?
Honestly, like, in terms of the players playing what, you know, sure, that's weird. But the lanes themselves aren't bad. Like, this Tide Hunter, Earth Spirit are going to be able to get a decent amount done if you get the Rubik hidden onto. Yeah, you see there, kicking back Xiao Yu, and that's probably going to be first blood being picked up. Same sort of thing for mid lane, right? Like, if you get gone on with a static link, you can just decrep either yourself or the Razor, and you're going to be totally fine. And then top side, if Silence is out of position, you run the risk of getting burst down, just like what happened.
Just more in general, I suppose, instead of the lanes. Like, we're seeing a lot of the Venge 1. You know, we're seeing the Tide now as a 1 as well. They're looking to really experiment.
Is it?
Say that are you saying Tide is it truly the 1?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'll be interesting.
Gyrocopter's not an offlaner, right? So let's get that straight.
Yes. I'm just intrigued to see if Main Guy goes for like the position 2 build that we see sometimes on the dry. Like, it's a crap load of magical damage that you can dish out. Like I know he's not played mid at the moment, and so we'll see the difference.
Veil gyro.
I'm trying to remember what it was now. Like it's you.
Veil's a very good item if you're trying to go that, and it pairs together well with this Pugman that you've got on your team. Help plus you might even look to give it the Void Spirit, the Earth Spirit into a Veil build.
Yep. I guess at the moment he's gone a 0-1-1 build, so he's still got time for the Rocket Barrage, but might just be the farm intensive. Then we'll see what DB how he's going to look to itemize Bracer, Ring of Health at the moment, so just looking for the consistent sustain. They really don't have a lineup here down bottom with the Mars and Rubik that has kill throw on the Tide. It's just a bunch of poke damage, so the recognition of DB that he just needs some items to keep himself afloat, and he should be fine.
I mean, the kill threat absolutely would be there if it was against the Bane, for example. But the fact that Army Geniuses switched it up and made sure that you know, the Tide absolutely was the hero being played in the off lane, together with this this Earth Spirit, makes it all the worthwhile.
Maybe get under the tower.
Yeah,
Even
you
then.
still can't be doing that. You're tanky. He doesn't have any points in the Kraken Shell, actually.
Top
so
lane.
He can take it down here on DB.
A roll in from Januel.
Radiant's
DB
top
actually, apologies, does end up falling, but 4-5-8. Trying to battle up against UK Mischief. Playing to his advantage here. Will give him some time to get the Jingu stacks, but will not give him time to get any of those attacks off, as Mermaid Dire will burst him through with a double kill.
Yeah, Tide lives there if he has a point in the Kraken Shell, just for being able to obviously get the proc off, but also just for the passive. He was sitting inside of a creep wave for a fair amount of the time. He's picked it up now, though, so a lot more survivable, and it's going to enable even more of these rotations coming through from Lim. He smokes up very close to the mid wave. He just needs to be careful about Makoto's positioning so that doesn't pop. Oh,
It's a hard target. I think you need the decrypt to set up. Huh. Never mind. Maybe they'll need that now for the damage afterwards. Swami is going to use it on himself. Look around at the Nether Blast, but Makoto just rips him apart, and now he's got the ultimate as well to charge up them. Roll in a couple seconds, so they have the damage to go through the Earth Spirit before they do indeed, as that is a big double for Makoto to find. He's even going to get a stack too.
Dire's
Fortunately,
middle
no
tower is
bounty.
under attack.
I think he needed to use the decrep onto Makoto just for that reduced movement speed, plus the fact that you can't get that increased damage coming out onto you from the Fade Bolt rotation that Hustler made.
Top lane. Slept up to set up. Another rotation here from Lim. Looking to get really active on the Earth Spirit, and it's done pretty solid so far, especially to enable their main Dire Gyrocopter. 4 kills already. He's gone for the 0-1-3, so it looks like we are seeing the Gyro for a lot more of the stats build into the having farm intensive.
Going for another role play here onto Makoto in the mid lane. This time around, Wami has the life drain available. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, as he kicks him all the way back underneath his own friendly tower.
Oh, Lim.
Actually, one that's starting to get gone on a little bit here. He's playing with fire a little bit. I don't think you want to be playing around with his 3 heroes. Still, forcing the rotation means that DB, Gyrocopter, they're going to have a better time in response to it. And as you say that, they're sitting at the top of the net worth charts right now. Wami, of course, suffering a little bit here, but he's got a full creep wave set to come into him very shortly.
DB is going against 3 heroes right now.
Radiant's
He's got 10
top
stick charges
are
too,
fortified.
and no one's TPing down. DB will get no assistance, unfortunately, for the Earth Spirit not having his available, and it's a big kill to find considering how much the Tide was getting out of it.
Dire's bottom
Getting a lot out of the
tower is
lane.
under
He
attack.
had the 10 magic stick charges, didn't opt to use them, gives the extra intelligence over to the silencer, and now you've also got a siege creep getting a few hits in onto your tower with no one to claim it up. So, yeah, big exchange coming in Neon's favor.
Overall, though, it does seem like Army Geniuses getting a decent amount out of the laning stage. Both safe lanes, I suppose. Your Mars, 30 net worth considering against the Tide. They're even going to bring Makoto down, so they really want to shut through DB. They won't be able to do so successfully. I think you've got to cancel the TP. Wami Won't be able to turn the tide here as Makoto is doing an incredible job. It's now looks to be treads completed, and he's going to continue to farm up, even utilizing the arcane rune perfectly with his Eye of the Storm.
Tower is under attack.
It was a good attempt there by Lim to try and kick him back underneath his tower to safety, but unfortunately for Tidehunter, still is holding on to those 10 magic stick charges, unable to pop them in the middle of that team fight. And, well, with a couple of those early rotations from the Silencer as well, Zhao's already sitting on more permanent intelligence stolen than Yopaj did from the mid lane in that previous game.
Man, why you gotta call out Yopaj like that?
I mean, it's more of a compliment to Zhao, you know? Ex-teammate.
Don't do it again.
Oh, DB, no, you I don't think you can blame anyone else.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's starting. The tips are starting. The towers are falling. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're going to look to try and find the Monkey King. The rotation coming through from Hustler. Already level 6 on the Rubik, thanks to all the kills they've been finding. He's 2-0 and 6. He had a very solid Spirit Breaker Game 1 performance, and now he's looking to transition this onto a bit of a different play style.
I mean, yeah, he's been part of every single one of the kills, so even without that insane map movement, he's still able to get so much done in terms of team fights, and we will punish kids like you.
What? Oh, not again, Monkey! Should be able to zap him dry. Let's try to get him range for Tree Dance, it looked like, but almost slowed him through with the Decrepify, so big kill to be able to pick up there, and looks like Radiant just looking to try and play off the back of Xiao Yu's next ultimate timing.
He's got to be careful about dying all these times, right? Like, he's already had, I think, 6 intelligence stolen away from him, so, I mean, you barely have enough to use a Gush, Ravage, and Anchor Smash combo.
It's not going to be too good considering Tide late game, like if the double Refresher, or I should say double Ravage combo.
Oh, DB, you got to be careful here. There's a bunch of people around you. They're going to back off still, even though they have the arena available. Or will they?
I think they got to keep eyes on mid as Monkey King's in trouble. Rainbow TP is coming into the fray, but Mischief once again, is it going to be enough to get him to safety? He'll lose his life. They need a way to answer the TP from Wommy. And the telekinesis is there in the nick of time from Hustler. And off to the backside here, Xiao Yu will block off any retreat from the Earth Spirit. So a 2-for-1. They are slowing down the Monkey King's farm at a decent rate here, but still it looks like Mikoto and Co keeping up.
It is still a very different story, though, from the previous game. At least, like, Tidehunter, sure, he's died a few times, but I like the fact that DB immediately recognizing, all right, tons of TPs towards the mid lane, push the lane in, force a defensive rotation through from Xiao Yu, means that he has to respond to it. Maybe they can look to try to go for an aggressive play here on the mid lane. You can see Lim TPs in, you've got the Ravage available, and is he going to look to join with the rest of the team? You got to go now, before the Mars is able to connect back again.
Denied.
He's back off though.
The main guy is going to be pretty happy with all the space he's getting. Top of the net worth, still those 4 early kills, and very close to the Aghanim's. He had the potential if he can disassemble the Dragon Lance here, if need be. Are they smoking up on Radiant? They are. Okay, so it's Hustler and Genuel at the moment. They've got a ward that does scout up Mamang Daya, but I believe the 2 supports don't have enough in the tank to kill Mamang Daya.
Especially when he's got the Bane doing a bit of babysitting at the moment. They realize how important Mamang Daya's farm is to this. They do end up smoking underneath that ward, though.
Dire's
I feel a little bit about UK and his positioning, but Mamang Daya immediately revealing again. So I don't think they're going to be super defensive. I mean,
Top lane. Global's out to try and protect Xiao Yu. Magnetize is going to take him out. He'll refresh the stones, and but the Global wasted to try and protect the 3. So it was worth it is what they were hoping.
Just going straight into the Aghanim Scepter on DB as well. really relying heavily onto Lim, it seems, for a lot of the initiation engagement into team
It's
fights.
a big kill if they can find it. Oh, Mamang died down bottom. Hustler cancels the TP, then steals the call down, but he's got some backup in UK. So we'll hold back the aggressor in Makoto, but it looks like Hustler just might do it by himself, just lacking that last little threshold to kill off the gyro, which would have been a very impactful kill.
Where's my pension?
Going to be able to get away in time. I was thinking maybe he might try and use the Fiend's Grip, considering the Nightmare had 3 points into it to try and turn around onto the Rubik, but with him sitting at full HP, it might have been a little bit greedy. Mid lane, though, the aggression's looking to continue. Nice use of the Ravage.
DB is going to hold back both. 4-5-8 can't really find an angle into the fight, and they just overwhelm OB.Neon underneath the tower. Makoto might look at least for an answer on UK, who's charged up the Fiend's Grip, so it'll give him ample time to be protected. And meanwhile as well, the battle continues as DB and Lim just going to push back Hustler. That's a big kill to find. Unfortunately, DB now is in a bit of trouble as Makoto's going to block off the retreat through the river, so he's going to have to go further up to the northern side, but he'll find an angle out.
Does feel a little bit like Makoto's playing a lone hand in this game, though. He's obviously having a fantastic lane, but other than that, everyone else is kind of dropped off a little bit. Is that what's he gone here? Okay, just into the Yash. I was thinking, man, this is an early Ags if he's picked it up already, but no, just going to maximize the movement speed as much as possible. Looking to try and continuously chase down Gyrocopter in particular. And speaking of which, he's only 25 gold away from finishing up his own Ags.
Incredible timing for Mamang Dai. They never really... I mean, they tried to contest him once, but apart from that, Xiaoyu's going to be careful going deep into a Pugner. If you don't get that initial jump, then you've compromised your position. As Global Silence will give an opportunity to escape. Once again, trying to protect Xiaoyu with the ultimate, and now Lim. That's a huge magnetize combined up with the Veil as well, so Radiant gonna have to fall back here unless they want to take a fight into a double damage route on Mamang Dai, who's now finally looked to show up, and it's gonna cost him... Wait, what? UK? The one tree of all 7 in the area, and they might just have to watch 4-5-8 end up falling.
Dire's top tower
Triple
is
balance,
under
though.
attack.
They all lined up for him. And he actually ends up dying in return.
Oh my god, what a crazy game. 26 kills, 15 minutes in, 3,000 net worth lead on Army Geniuses.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Poor old DB. It's a rough going out here. Just trying to find some way to build into the Yules. Makoto would be a very valuable kill if they can find it. It's like UK trying to find an angle on the backline. Bane will just run into multiple heroes, still somehow alive. They'll obliterate 4-5-8.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Not the most farmed position 1 core this game, has to be said.
Dire's top tower is under
Sitting
attack.
a fair way
Dire's top
behind even the
tower
lowest
has
net worth
fallen.
core.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, of course, with that brain sap, he's going to be somewhat sustainable. Also has the Ocean Heart and the Tranquil Boots. He's just chilling in the water, having a swim.
I got their ultimates again. Aghanim's as well, and Mamang Dai. So this tower, they're going to be careful to blink on Xiaoyu if they want to look to protect it.
Radiant's middle tower
A little bit
has
hesitant
fallen.
right now on Neon. Maybe they can catch some stragglers. Army Geniuses will give them no opportunity.
Even Wami just looking to give a little HP back over to his Gyrocopter. As they continue to defend the mid lane, realizing that, you know, it is still quite important to be defending against it, considering they have some decent Roche taking potential with that Desolator so close to being picked up on 4-5-8.
Dire's
It
middle
does feel
tower
like,
is under
again,
attack.
very
Dire's
limited in how much
structures
farm
are
he's been able to pick
fortified.
up so far this game. 0-4-2.
Feels like finally now Neon might have an opportunity to infiltrate to the triangle, but no one's home. Xiaoyu targeting Mamang Dai, but now missing this spear. This is not the start of the fight they were looking for, and again, a very defensive use of the global silence. It's still will cost Januel his life, and Hustler won't dodge out the roll.
Gonna look for the Mars as well, just gets away in time.
Lim is still hunting. Oh, just catches him on the edge. Kick back to UK. Army Genius is showing up. in this second game. You were thinking otherwise with how the lanes were starting, especially, you know, DB falling a couple times, but it looks like they've definitely brought themselves in a considerable
Radiant's
position.
bottom tower has fallen.
DB going down, yes, of course. He was always, put a bit on the back burner, but I felt like the way that they set up the lanes, not necessarily with the players that were playing it, of course, that was a little bit out of left field, but the hero matchups made these lanes very nice. And it's really showing now. I mean, if you're going to sacrifice DB, maybe Neon got baited in a little bit thinking that this is still going to be a Tide Hunter with all of the farm priority given over to him, but like I said before, if you've got this lineup that wants to try and run into you, which, Amaz does, there aren't too many better position ones than a gyrocopter to be able to counter it.
So do you feel like that's going to be a bit of an issue as the game goes on with these counters, or is mainly in the early stages?
Mainly in the earlier stages, particularly before the BKBs come online. That's the big thing, right? Because the cooldown, you're still going to have the flat cannon damage, of course, coming out at that point of the game, but it's really the cooldown that prevents a lot of the early aggression.
It's interesting that Memang Dai didn't go into the flat cannon range. He opted for the health, just looking for a little bit more of the survivability, but still going for pretty much all of the attributes. And it did go for that +2 flat cannon attacks as well at level 15. So it's up to 8 now.
I think just, you've got a decent amount of teamfight control, right? Like, you're going to have the Ravage, you're going to have multiple times now that Lim's been able to get a great initiation in, get the multiple slows, hit off with the Magnetize, of course, combined with a Boulder Smash. So really putting the faith in the rest of his team, and it's just all about his own survivability so that he can't 100-0 him before the rest of the team's able to back him up.
Okay. Maybe second death of the game here for the Bane. He's got some backup. They're actually going to swap the Nightmare over to Wommy. Poor old Wommy. Looks like at least he'll keep his life, but still... do you feel like either side's at a stage where they're looking at team fight, or is it just real catch up right now from the side of Neon, considering how far behind 458 is?
It does feel like he's kind of useless in a lot of these team fights, to be honest, right? Like, he's giving his life up without getting anything in return. I mean, putting more points into the Boundless Strike as well. He needs to be fighting to be able to get a lot of this farm. Only the 1 point in the tree dance. You're never going to be able to quickly clear out creep waves, playing a little bit more aggressive on the sides.
Now with Desolator, he can definitely play some of the side lanes. And with that Boundless, great way to be able to clean off the creeps. Not at the stage at how fast he can do it, but they don't have the greatest catch on Army Geniuses, and we'll get to a stage where Radiant, the team fight, is going to be high prowess. Yeah, I was watching bottom.
Blink Dagger available on DB.
They're going to try and start the fight on the Razor. They need to answer with the Fiend script. They still haven't cancelled at the moment. Now with the Boundless Strike, finally giving Makoto a little bit of time to get the defensive abilities off. They're going to lay down the Global Silence as well, so Army Geniuses are 1-for-1 to start. But Memang Dai is still looking to be the king to end the team fight here. He's going to try and chase back Genuel, even getting amplified further by Wommy, but it looks like finally Memang Dai will end up losing out on his streak, but Wommy will get an answer.
Picking out the Tide Hunter, the big watermelon, slowly walking his way through to the rest of the team. And you can see UK is like, where the hell were you this entire time? And I'm sure he's saying, bro, no TP.
Has he got Blink? Oh, he's got Blink now. Can they burst him from 4 to 0? No.
I think maybe they could have if he was still caught underneath the life drain there and they popped the Ravage. But, well, they're not going to be able to. So, despite that big trek, he doesn't end up getting too much out of it. So a lot of farm being left on the table, unfortunately, for Army Geniuses, but still, you got to be happy with that team fight victory.
For Neon, that's a godlike streak now for Makoto.
What a bounty!
9-0 and 4 for him, working on the BKB as his next item. It's going to give him a little bit more survivability. He's also gone for the +5 static link damage steal at the 15 talent, so he's definitely racking the damage at the moment. See how he can scale as the game goes on. Doing an incredible job continuing with how solid of a performance he had from game 1. Lim just rolling. Oh no. Yeah, you really hate to see that for Xiao Yu on 458. That's Arena on cooldown now, but feels like Army Geniuses, are they going to look to smoke? They still got Ravage. I wouldn't mind seeing them.
Yep. Fiend's Grip available as well. You've got a haste on Wami, so he's going to be able to get the perfect positioning in this team fight. He was nearly able to save Mamang Dyer in that previous one with the second use of his Lotus Orb, so hopefully DB... Okay, he just looks to reveal himself in lane. I thought he might have tried to go for an Anchor Smash thinking that it wouldn't reveal him, but it does.
Don't believe Radiant can defend this bottom tower without Arena. You need this to protect, or at least enable the Wukong's Hustler. Just TPing out, so I'll give up the tier 2. Looks like there won't be a trade across the map. They're not in a position to be able to take Roshan. And tier 2 also up top is not under assault.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
For although the lead that Army Geniuses have at the moment, still just playing very methodical.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Only seen a couple of Ravages so far, but DB is given the reins over to Mamang Dyer to look to carry this game with the position that he's in. Is quite the stage where he might be able to do so. Restalis completed recently.
It's a brief glimpse of UK here. I wonder if he's going to get baited into going for this.
Oh,
wow, he's going to be the main target. He gets melted.
You feed the crabs now.
Can they Roche? They got maxed out Gush. They've got pretty solid team fight as well. So if they want to just actually kind of taunt Neon to come take a fight in the area.
Radiant are scanning.
We'll scan though, so the rare it's happening, but it's happening at a very fast rate. Where Neon have to make a choice if they're going to contest it or not.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like they want to. I think they're prioritizing a little bit more onto just making sure they've got those next key items for 458. It's that BKB. He absolutely needs it to be able to survive in a lot of these early engagements, particularly against the Pugna. It seems like he's always the one being focused down, just getting the Decrepify, not allowing any kind of lifesteal coming through from the Monkey King. And you can see he's gone into a lot more of a build-up that's going to emphasize utility. You know, it's putting the game fairly heavily on Makoto's back, and you know, as good a player he is, I just don't think the Razor has quite the same toolkit as the likes of a Gyrocopter and a Pugna in terms of dishing out pure damage.
Definitely not. But Gyrocopter has gone for this, you know, all-out right-click, no point rocket barrage. He's got 3 points cooldown, but we'll see if Makoto, who he wants to prioritize with the static link. They are going to have a huge timing here. Triple BKB reveal from all their cores. So this might be enough to offset the Aegis advantage. They're going to look for an incredible tier 2 tower defense as they're already getting set up in the wings of the tree line. But going through Mamang Dyer multiple times to start is a difficult task. So they'll just reveal Makoto, which will give Army Geniuses now time to set up a formation behind Mamang Dyer.
They see where DB is though. They've got the ward just on the high ground there. So it gets a glimpse of him, not going to be dewarded either. So you can see they're positioning themselves way to the left. No one's going to be caught on the right side, potentially picked off. So it's a good response from Neon, but you know, they're still getting a lot of damage.
Is a bit away from the team. I don't think they see anyone on the backline. They're going to try and burst him down. There's the start, speed connection, but instant the Kraken Shell answer. He's going to try and get the Eul Scepter up in the air with the Global Silence. Can they bring him through? No, just the blink away. Oh, no, no, no. Neon, not the fight you were looking for at all. Multiple ultimates completely wasted. BKB as well from the Monkey King, I believe. And Army Geniuses, do they really want to think about higher ground? I believe they can.
Using the Eul Scepter, I think one was also able to layer out the Lotus Orb onto him, so it wasn't that immediate follow-up on him either. So, nicely done.
Here comes the siege, the smoke behind as well. Gotta be careful if you tunnel vision onto one hero. Yeah, you're looking for an angle to potentially spear back, but they're already set up with Wami's life drain.
He's got to be careful though, Wami. He's sitting
Make
pretty
the
damn low.
attempt. DB is going to charge on 4 before the Wukong's instantly answering on top of Makoto as well. But the BKB on cooldown, he doesn't have no buyback. They need the Razor. It's been a key component for Neon at the moment. Gonna be killed. Hustler! He stole the Ravage! Turns back, but still, they haven't killed off anyone. They'll target through Limb on the backline, so it's just the Earth Spirit to fall. So a huge steal, but an opportunity gone begging here. Another attempt. Pinpoint pass through the barracks, further distance on the backline here, but Mamang Dyer doesn't give a damn. Flat cannon pop, initiates on forward. 3 are down, and for Neon, the team fight that we were looking for previously completely gone, and now they're going to have to just give up the full set of barracks up top. They're lucky that there's still a tier 2 mid.
That's so weird that Flat Cannon just prioritizes the furthest unit away, and it also includes buildings. It was actually hitting onto a this whatever this is, this effigy, this weird looking thing inside the Radiant base, as opposed to any kind of creeps. And so I was thinking, man, I would hate to be Mamang Dyer if he dies as a result of his Satanic not actually getting any kind of lifesteal with a side gunner when he was crowd controlled up. But nope,
middle tower
still ends up living, taking the full lane of racks. I know I called it for Neon super early into the draft, but that was when I was thinking that the lanes were going to go standard, you know, the position 1 Tide Hunter, but they fooled everyone, including me, with how they were able to set things up.
That they have is still, what do we got? Ultimates up shortly. Ages for another 40 seconds here. Xiaoyu's going to look to jump the back. At least they've cut off the reinforcements. This might give them an opportunity to deal with the first life. They need to stop the attack from Mamang Dyer. In fact, the decrypt will do that for them, but didn't even need the Satanic. Jesus Christ. That
Pugna's an amazing hero. Like, oftentimes people see, oh, they've got 4 int heroes, let's just pick a Pugna, but, you know, you still can do damage. The Nether Ward isn't that great. It's physical damage that you want to be able to pick the Pugna into, just because, you know, you lay it down, and then what can you do in terms of any kind of damage to be able to stop them? You can put it, the Decrep to save, you can use the Decrep offensively, you've still got a decent amount of magic damage yourself. It's just going to continue moving forward. Has to be careful, though. Only a couple of seconds left on this Aegis. So might be forced to back out after the tower. And he will.
It's cool how DB's got on this Agnums as well. He's so aware that you're playing the counter initiation game. Put the Mamang Dyer Gyro on the front line. Just constantly spam out that gush from afar, and that's all you really need to be.
DD in the bot side as well. While he pings it out, he'll give the bottle over to Gyro, enable him to pick it up, and I'm sure bot lane is the next focus. I think you just got to keep it pressured out a little bit. Actually, they smoke up here in the Neon side in the mid lane, trying to wrap around and find someone. Lim could be a great target.
Ravage clips onto 2. Bane and Earthspirit on top of the outskirts, so Makoto's going to try and kill off UK simultaneously. Earthspirit does get the roll away, but with the global silence, Makoto is soaking down Mamang Dyer. They've got to be careful of the double damage rune, as Mamang Dyer doesn't care about the damage stolen. He's getting amplified enough from the power rune. Iz'll crit down the Monkey King. They'll catch up Makoto on top of the backline, as well as DB finally getting involved, jumping straight on their heads. He might even try and charge up the Ravage as well, finding 3 after the buybacks, and Army Geniuses just give him the rampage. It's all been the Mamang Dyer show, and that they will. A statement to end the day and end the series, as Army Geniuses will tie it a piece 1-1.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Mamang Dyer doing it again, putting the team on his back, saying, I got this, boys. Oh, easy mid as well. Gets thrown out there. To say that against Makoto, that's a little bit of BM. I thought Makoto more than held his own against the Pugna, which is a pretty heavy Pugna favored matchup. But unfortunately, the draft overall, once the lanes kind of shaped out the way that they did, I started to realize, well, actually, they've done this correctly. It was just maybe giving a little bit more priority. Some days, you know, who knows? It could be like a stomach ache. It could be just feeling a little bit off your game. But Mamang Dyer, he clearly wasn't. He was saying, give me the game, boys. I'll be able to pull it forward for you.
Oh, without a doubt, with how he could perform like that. I also want to highlight DB with his itemization in general. Like, it wasn't stellar, but I felt like he knew his role with how behind he was and just what he needed to do. It was overly impressive that he was able to recognize that, let's just go for the, you're just nothing too crazy. You're back with the Earth Spirit. Okay. So you felt like this was the,
Good as well.
yeah, the tide of the Earth Spirit.
That he was able to start. And again, we talk about itemization. His is pretty damn good as well, right? The Veil of Discord comboing together with all the damage that you've got. Again, it's spell damage, so even something like the Gush able to dish out a ton of damage. Wami, of course, with all the magic damage that he was putting out, and even UK, right? The Fiend's Grip taking away a lot of the survivability utility that OB.Neon had. So it ends in a 1-1 for the fourth series of the day. Kind of surprising, if I'm being honest, but how many geniuses? They definitely turned around what was a not so impressive game one. But every time we've seen them just get absolutely rolled over, it's because of that goddamn Venge position one. So just don't pick that, and I feel like you're in a much better position.
Well, they banned it for them, didn't they? I'm pretty sure it was Neon that banned it. So they were, we'll
Tempt them.
Yeah, we'll give you guys an opportunity here. We'll get rid of the Venge. We'll give DB something else he can play. They tried the one tide. Didn't matter. It was all my main guy here. He was the true position one with how he was able to play. And for Army Geniuses, tying up the series, it's relatively important for them considering as well. Like, I mean, we're going to have an action-packed remaining half of the group stages. We are now, I think, 6 days done, 6 days remaining. And with how it's looking, I mean, you would not be anticipating Galaxy Racer being on bottom. Now, they've only played 2 series, keep in mind, so that's more than the reason why. But again, the open qualifier teams coming into the pro series, I mean, you're around the middle of the pack. Dreammaker, in fact, they're currently in 4th position, so potential to place upper bracket. And for Yangon, they're in 6th. I mean, they're tied.
Same point. Yeah. Exactly the same as Dreammaker, right? Execration. You could say Execration's slightly ahead because they've played 1 less series, but yeah, it's pretty damn even. It wouldn't surprise me to see tiebreakers at the end of all of this as well.
Yeah.
Like the teams are that even. Only really SMG and Boom have started to get a little bit ahead of the pack.
Yeah, it feels like we've got the 2 teams at the top, but they've also played a lot of series as well to start the BTS season 8. So, for Galaxy Racer, some of the teams at the bottom, Neon as well is one of them, and Army Geniuses. They really need to kind of pick up a head full of steam as we move to the second half here of the groups. But for us, we are done and dusted, finishing on time. That's nice. We're still 1 a.m. in the morning for us, so it'll be nice to go over and get some sleep. But nonetheless, we will have a day off tomorrow. There will be no action, but after that, we're going to have a cracker of a showing. Again, it will be 4 best of 2s. But regardless, for us, it's been the BTS Pro Series Season 8. Again, a day off. We'll see you guys back in 2 days for some Southeast Asian action.